It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. It's the only daily boxing talk show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of boxing talk radio. Talkin' Boxing with Billy C is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
Coming to you live from the Billy C Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C Show. Good morning, good day, good evening. Whenever you listen, hope you're doing all right today. I gotta be honest. We don't have a busy show today, all right? We don't. You know why? Because there's nothing going on in boxing. Unfortunately, I got some stuff to talk about, but We'll pull the Fred Astaire today. Today's show is being brought to you in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant, located on beautiful St. Simons Island in Georgia. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or give my man a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. Find out why I go all the way to St. Simon's to get a slice of pizza and some fine Italian cuisine. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by the Sea Palms Resort and our next Billy C Boxing event, which is going to be on August 25th and 26th at the beautiful Sea Palms Resort on St. Simon's Island. We will be doing a golf tournament, a Mayweather-McGregor showing, a Billy C Boxing Revisited showing, a meet and greet. Meet who, you say? Well, aside from me and Sal, we will have former world champions Marlon Starling, Bobby Ches, and Mike Weaver scheduled to join us. How about renowned trainer out of Tampa, Sherman Henson, who will be working out Sal Rocky Senecola in front of all of you. So we got a lot of stuff going on, plus the golf tournament, plus the shows. Make your reservations now. Call the Sea Palms Resort. Just visit our website, BillyCBoxing.com, and click on the Sea Palms banner and give them a call and tell them you want the Billy C Boxing package deals. And finally, today's show is being brought to us in part by my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold, and you can literally get a copy of it right now by visiting Barnes & Noble or Amazon.com. Or you can go to BarnesandNoble.com. Or if you're looking to get a signed copy, stop by and see me sometime. Now, if you don't see me, it's real easy. Just visit our website and click on the book. You can't miss it because it's all over the screen, so check that out. We got some stuff to talk about. Adrien Broner, speaking of talking, Adrien Broner, talking smack, talking lots of smack. He talking a whole lot of smack. The question is, can he back it up? You know, there's nothing worse than having a guy who talks smack and then he can't back it up. I got some other stuff too. We got some emails to read. We got some updates on McGregor, Mayweather, etc. But, you know, there's nothing worse than having a smack talker, you know? And I'm not talking the old sugar smacks that you have for cereal. I'm not talking about snap, crackle, and pop with the Rice Krispies. I'm talking smack talkers, all right? A guy that says, I'm going to do this when I get you in that ring. Oh, boy, am I going to do this. I'm going to give you some of these and some of those and some of this and some of that. And then when the bell rings, you get none of that. You get no fight. You got a track star is what you got. You got a guy that's running around looking like he didn't want to be in there. Looking like the Crusher against Bugs Bunny. I mean, come on. You know, Ravishing Rano against the Crusher. I mean, come on. You know, Adrien Broner, he talks smack. And let me tell you something. He's got to weigh 140 pounds by the weekend. He looks like a fat pig. I don't know if you saw the pictures of him, but he's not looking anywhere close to 140. Maybe his beard weighs 140. I don't know, man. I really don't know. But joining me right now who's a guy that doesn't like smack talking either, unless I'm smack talking to him or he's smack talking to me. My man, Sal Rocky Senecola. Is he going to back this smack talk up or what?
Oh, man, when you were talking about the comparison with the smack talk, all I could picture was that fight by Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. How he forgot to start the engine that night. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we don't like smack talkers. You do what you say what you do, you put your dukes up and you fight. You fight to win and you fight hard.
Yeah, you said put your dukes up. You sound like the cowardly lion on The Wizard of Oz.
Put up your dukes.
You gotta get courage, you know. But listen. You got David Hay. I mean, he was the king of the smack talkers about Klitschko. Chases Klitschko around for 2 years. Finally gets in the ring. And then runs, and then has the audacity to put his foot up on the podium. I hurt my widow toe. My widow toe prevented me from fighting. You know, I mean, it was my widow toe. Man, does that hurt? Broner says, and I quote, "I'm gonna f up." I was just gonna slip and say that, and then man, would I have gotten in trouble. He comes in, he says, "I'm gonna f up Garcia," and basically says, at this point, F the press. They're all against me. I'm ready to fight. I'm going to show everybody that I'm still young, hungry animal, and I'm taking over the sport of boxing. My main focus is just getting in the best shape I can so I can go F up Mikey. He says, that's it. It's nothing personal. It's the hurt business. And I know he's definitely trying to come and hurt me, but I'm going to F him up. If he's still worried about making weight, he's got some trouble. Today's Tuesday. The fight's Saturday. He looked like a fat pig yesterday. What's your thoughts, Sal?
I think, I like Mikey Garcia for a multitude of reasons, but my money's going on Mikey Garcia. This guy, here's the whole thing, Bill. He's at an important pinnacle point of his career. He can either rise to the occasion and be the superstar he thinks he is, or he's going to just be a joke and never be the guy who fulfills what he's probably capable of doing. But, he's too erratic. He's all over the place. Like he jumps up and down with the weight. He's not centered. He's not focused. He's not, there's got to be a plan. You got to make a plan. You got to work a plan. And when you just talk your rhetoric and your bull, and and you've been all over the scales and everything else, and in and out of jail, and it's hard to see. Like we were saying the other day, he's got so much going on. There's so many variables in his life at this point that are unsettled and chaos that it's hard for a fighter to do what he's got to do. It's not hard. You just got to do it. You got to put the blinders on, focus, fight, win, train, and all that stuff. That's the bottom line. That should be your business. But when you talk smack, that's like a usual smoke screen, smack screen. So we'll see. I think Mikey Garcia is going to have a stellar night this coming Saturday night.
Just to make myself perfectly clear, I don't dislike smack talkers, but I like a smack talker that at least tries. At least tries. I mean, the bottom line is, you could talk all the smack you want, and then, get in there with somebody and, have that person just be better and neutralize everything you try to do, but at least try. We got the fight, the fraud of a fight, McGregor against Mayweather, and there's been a lot of smack talk going on from both of these guys. Mayweather saying it's going to be toe-to-toe. We know that's not true. Mayweather does not fight toe-to-toe. But McGregor, if he tries to take off Mayweather's head, I mean, that's all he can do. If he can't, well, that has to you have to give the credit to Floyd, for being defensive and not allowing McGregor to take his head off. But McGregor's got to try. If McGregor goes in there and tries to out-finesse the finesser in Floyd Mayweather, then you could criticize him. You know, hey, you talked a lot of smack, McGregor, but you didn't do nothing. You know, well, it's the same thing with Broner. Broner's talking about effing up Mikey Garcia, you know, F the press and all of this stuff. You know, listen, he's created the world around him. Adrien Broner,
Bingo.
in my opinion, was a talented and very well may still be very talented fighter. But he's the one that created all the hoopla. It's his own, you know, actions that have created the frenzy that follows this guy. And for him to say, at this point, I just want to make weight. You know, come on, man. I think it's a joke, Sal.
Well, it is, and you know, you know how I feel about the weight issue thing, and we'll see what happens. I mean, let me ask you this: what happens if he doesn't make the weight?
Good question.
They do give you 24 hours before the fight, so I mean, how much time will they give him to come back to the scale? 3 hours?
No, they got 2 hours. He's got 2 hours to make the weight. But funny you should ask, because there's a $500,000 penalty fee for either fighter should they not make weight. Now, Mikey Garcia is moving up in weight, so you know that's not going to affect him. He should have no problem making weight. And Broner, actually, his last 3 fights were at the junior welterweight. I don't even think that's right, because I think one of the that's right, he didn't make the weight. They was technically at. Let me just check his weight here. I got it in front of me. He didn't make the weight, and that's why he was stripped of his title, which is kind of funny when you think about that. You know, guy once again talking all the smack that he does, and he didn't make weight. He lost his belt to Theophane, or he lost his belt. He won the fight, but lost the belt that he won. So yeah, his last 3 fights were technically at junior welterweight, but at least 2 of them he did not make the weight. So I don't know. So that means he fought at welterweight. So and he looked like a fat bastard. He looked fatter than me. I ate 9 tacos last night, so I am a fat bastard, you know. But Adrien Broner, I don't know, man. You know, we talked about it yesterday. I mean, this is his last, in my opinion, it's his last shot at being, you know, labeled a superstar. And I don't know. I think there's more pressure on him. He can't be turning it around and blaming everybody else, Sal.
Well, that's what people do. They you know, whiners are not winners. Whiners find a problem with every answer. Winners find an answer to every problem. So this guy, he keeps reaching. So we'll see. I mean, I don't want to talk smack about him either. I mean, let's just see what he could do in the ring and get his life and his career back on track. And, you know, I think he's got this opportunity with Mikey Garcia. If he shows up and if he could do what he thinks he could do and show his talents and win this fight, then, you know, he'll be back on track. But if he's all over the place and chaotic in his lifestyle and everything else, it's going to be exposed in the ring. And, you know, he's going to be handled pretty well by Mikey Garcia. I think Mike Garcia is going to do a good job.
Well, I got a quote from Mikey Garcia, but that's going to have to wait, Sal, because we got to take a break. So don't go nowhere. When I come back, we will continue this discussion and then some more. I'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300. If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks, like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C Show. Glad you could be with us. And we want you to be with us on August 25th and 26th. That's right. We're doing a Billy C boxing special. It's going to be held on beautiful St. Simon's Island at the Sea Palms Resort. What are we doing? Lots of stuff, man. We are doing lots of stuff. First and foremost, you get to hang out with myself and Sal. But I know you guys don't care about us. But how about former world champions Marlon Starling, Bobby Ches, Mike Weaver, to name a few. Sherman Henson is coming down from, or coming up from Tampa. He's going to work out Sal right in front of you guys. So we can watch the old man in action. We are going to have a meet and greet. We are going to show one of our Billy C Boxing Revisited episodes that will be on network television pretty soon. We'll keep you posted on that. We are also going to have a golf tournament, a friendly golf tournament with everyone. We will be showing the McGregor-Mayweather fight. We will be moving over to Sal's and crashing his restaurant, all of that stuff. Be part of it right now. Visit our website, BillyCBoxing.com. And we're trying to get former multi-division, and she's like a daughter to me, world champion Chevelle Halbach to come and join us too. But we got to drag her out of her comfort zone to get her there. But the bottom line is, come on, make your plans now. Visit our website, BillyCBoxing.com. Click on the Sea Palms banner and tell them you want the Billy C Boxing event. Before we went to break, we were giving you some quotes on Mikey Garcia and Adrien Broner. However, right now, joining Sal and myself to give us the lowdown on why he feels that Conor McGregor is going to upset Floyd Mayweather is the one and only. Now, a lot of you guys get ready, because a lot of you guys think that this person actually doesn't even exist, but he does. It's not me in the chat room. It's not me making it up. Then again, I don't even know if I am me, because I might be him and he might be me. I don't know. Joining us right now, the infamous Jeremy C. Jeremy,
hey, how you doing? I'm actually real Billy C. How's it going, everybody? Billy C here.
Is this real? You know, Sal, I often wonder, who is Billy C? Is it me? Is it him? I don't know.
Question to answer. Answer the question.
You sound like Steve Martin and Jigger. Who is Nathan?
Everybody knows I'm the real Billy C.
The funny thing is I don't know. Sometimes he's answering questions. I'm like, maybe that is Billy C. I don't even know. He came up with the name. He came up with the whole thing. It's him. I'm just a puppet. His hand is up my. Oops,
well, you would keep him in a closet with the projector.
How do I sound? Good?
But Jeremy, Yeah, Jeremy has been very vocal about this matchup between McGregor and Mayweather, and he's actually given me some pretty scientific explanations of why Conor McGregor is actually going to beat Mayweather. So here you go, Jeremy. You got your platform. Tell us. How's it going to happen?
I don't have my notes. I don't have anything. I have a blank Post-it note.
Well,
this is your big time, Jerry.
Wait. You're copying off of Sal's notes. That's his notes right now, too. A blank piece of paper.
Hey, wait. Hit the tail of the tape.
Yeah.
Before I get into all this, Sal's always hawking his mugs, so I'm just going to show you my mouse pad.
Oh, nice. All right.
I didn't design this, but this is my official mouse pad.
This show is going down the toilet real quick right now.
You can tell Bill didn't plan anything today. Whenever he's like, Jeremy, you want to come on? I'm like, sure. Bill must not have planned anything if he's asking me for mic time.
Hey, listen.
You know me, I'm a mic hog.
It's a slow day in boxing, but listen, give us your reasons why. And all seriousness, you have been pretty adamant about McGregor actually beating Floyd Mayweather. You gave me a whole bunch of reasons why. So now tell all the viewers and listeners why, Jeremy. Why?
Number one reason, because he said so.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
Fourth round knockout.
Wait a minute. I thought the number one reason was because you read it on the internet. Because it has to be true if it's on the internet, right?
Yeah, if you read it on the net, it's always true.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I get it. You guys are the boxing purists. I'm just a casual fan of sports and fighting and beating the crap out of people. I'm not the scientific guy like you two. I'm just a casual fan. This thing's all hyped up. I buy into it, So I'm not exactly the boxing expert that Billy C and Sal are. So I'm just regular Joe. So as regular Joe, I see.
Whoa! Wait a minute. You're Joe? I thought you were Jeremy. I thought you were Billy C. Who is he, Sal? He's Joe? Wait a minute. I think we got maybe it's Joe C. I don't know.
Joe C. and the Pussycat. No, so here's my thoughts. When people are talking about this fight, they're talking about Conor as if he's some guy that's coming out of his cubicle to go step in the ring with Mayweather. He's a fighter. He's not just some average guy. He's been a trained fighter all his life, so I don't think he's getting enough credit for the skills that he has. And if you guys don't think he's taking this serious and training, I guarantee he's overtraining at this point compared to what Mayweather's doing. Mayweather's probably got some strippers on his lap right now while Connor's in the gym.
You see,
gym, not gym.
You see, that's the one thing. That's the one thing. Let me just say this about Mayweather, and I know this might be a shock to our viewers and listeners, but I'm not really a big Mayweather fan.
What?
All right? I know. What
about the fan club? I thought you were the president.
It is shocking, but I'm not a big fan of Floyd, right? But I will tell you this. Floyd Mayweather is a professional. Okay, let me just focus on his boxing career. He's a professional boxer in the sense where he's always prepared. If you like Floyd or you don't like Floyd, the thing about Floyd is that he's focused on the job at hand. He will come in shape, and trust me when I tell you, he does not have a stripper on his lap right now. Well, if he does, he's probably beating the hell out of her.
That's a whole nother story.
But he's
crime report.
I'm sure he's training. And I just think, despite your theory about Conor McGregor being a fighter, he's trying to outbox arguably one of the best boxers of his generation in Floyd.
Billy, I don't think he's going to come into this trying to be a boxer. I don't think he's going to, hop around in a boxing stance the whole time. I think he's coming in there and he's going to fight. I think he's going to have some strange stance, that McGregor's not used to seeing. I don't think it's going to be a regular boxing match. I think it's going to be a boxer versus a fighter. He's not going to throw kicks because he'll lose his quadrillion-dollar payday. But I don't think he's going to just stand in regular boxing stances and try to go toe-to-toe, boxing-only style with Mayweather. I think he's going to mix it up, and I think he's going to come out of places that Mayweather's never seen before.
Yeah, well, what do you think, Sal?
Well,
thank you for your thoughts, and we're gonna. What do you think, Sal?
There you go again.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I think
It's a good run.
Oh, don't get me started, Jeremy.
Don't get me started. Get it, you know. Oh boy. Listen, Mayweather is a professional, consummate professional. He'll come in that ring ready to fight, and he is a safety first fighter, and he will be prepared to see what's on the other side of the ring coming at him. Now, with that being said, and I've said all along, any given night, any fighter can't get beat. We know this to be true from some of the upsets in the past. Now, Conor McGregor, he's got some skills, absolutely. He's an MMA champion. Now, an MMA fighter, he's got to integrate wrestling, martial arts, boxing, so he should have a fairly strong foundation. And with that being said, I had a wrestling background, a little jiu-jitsu, little things here, and, you know, I just see him having a shot by rushing across, running across, throwing his hands up, being ready to manhandle and wrestle and throw him in a corner with his hands, with his open glove, and then just pounding on his arms and anywhere he could throw a punch. That's the only way I see him, because Mayweather may not even give him that opportunity, because Mayweather's fast. Mayweather's not going to be trapped in a corner. But that's the only way I see anything that Conor McGregor is going to be able to do to land any shot. Is just to manhandle him, be rough, be tough, wrestle him. More of a wrestling match. Not on the ground, but use his hands with his gloves, with the open gloves, and control his shoulders, control his arms, get a point taken away with that. But I see him doing that, spinning Mayweather, banging him with that. If he gets a chance to touch Mayweather, it's going to be a different fight. Now, and with that being said, he's got to think he's got to have contact with Mayweather. And he's going to wrestle, he's going to get there, he's going to control him with his arms, with this and that, and bang.
Crap, I'm glad this isn't in 3D. Sal, I'll be freaking out right now. You're just punching at me.
I am in 3D. He's hitting me. That's why I'm dodging it.
You know, that's the only way I could see him making contact with Mayweather. Mayweather, you know what he's going to do? He's going to be the pretty boxer, and he's going to be gone before those punches hit. But that's what I'm saying. Conor McGregor has got to manhandle him. He's got to wrestle him. Got to control him with those arms, with free hands, and boom, shoot him with another one. That's it. That's the only way he can win. The only way he can hit. The only way he can contact to get Floyd Mayweather. And I give him that chance.
Well, the chance
I think he's going to do it.
The chance I give him is if Floyd should somehow trip and fall when the bell rings and knocks himself out. Because to tell you the truth, I just. You know, we all know that Conor McGregor is going to attack him in the first round. If he doesn't, it's foolish. You know, if Conor tries to pull something like let Mayweather come to him, they're just going to be standing there looking at each other because Mayweather's not going to bite.
He's not going to happen. He's going right for him.
Well, if he does, you know, the truth of the matter is Floyd's ready for that. Floyd's going to let him, and I told you this, Jeremy, Floyd is going to let him tire himself out. Maybe he goes 5 rounds. He'll be exhausted. And then it's going to be similar. And I use this comparison, Sal. It's going to be similar to when Muhammad Ali knocked out George Foreman. It wasn't the power of the punch that really put out George Foreman. It was the fatigue factor of George Foreman combined with the punches from Ali sent him in that Soda Popinski spin to the canvas. And I think as much as Mayweather is not a knockout puncher. He's not. He's got little girly hands. But the truth of the matter is he's going to get a knockout against McGregor. I just I see it happening. But hey, don't answer yet, Jeremy, because we are gonna take a short little break here.
Yeah, that's good because then I got to talk about the chat room. You know me.
Don't tell me you got problems we got to fix. All right,
I love the chat room.
We're
great comments about me in there.
We're gonna. Oh yeah. Oh God! I got the two. We got a wide. We have to have a wide screen for the two egos that we got on here now.
It's the Salad Jeremy show.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know what? Maybe I'll take a chance and go get a coffee. Sal's drinking gallons of coffee. I have to, get through on what I had already.
But third cup.
Don't go anywhere. We will be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you. That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching the Billy C. Show. And right now we're taking a unexpected turn with the show. Joining Sal and myself, we have Jeremy C. on the line.
Jeremy C. Just
and he's
spilled coffee all over.
He's oh yeah, that's great for your equipment.
Hey, Jeremy looks like he's got the same microphone I got.
Yeah,
Look at that, huh? Look at that.
So we hooked you up with the right stuff, man. Jeremy's the king of the ghetto studios.
We got the same. The twins.
I'm the one that told Bill to tell you to get that one. I run everything. I'm Billy C.
Look at these guys showing off their mics. Woo, my mic's bigger than yours. Well, my mic's wider than yours. Oh, listen.
Mine has more girth.
Let's talk about it. Hey, look at this. Hey, hi. Okay.
All right.
So
but
Billy,
you know,
let's get back on track with this.
I was just gonna say the same thing, guys.
I'm just, if you see me over here doing it, I'm cleaning my desk. I got my coffee and I spilled it.
Well, you're not going to be on that much. Hey, Jeremy, you're not going to be on that much longer. So, stop doing all your other chores around the house. All right. But, so go ahead, finish your thoughts, Sal, before we,
right,
hang up on Jeremy.
I always say that the media doesn't report the news anymore. They stimulate the news. And, why can't it be the same with Conor McGregor? Let's say, including Paulie Malignaggi and everything else, any clips I've seen of Conor McGregor sparring a boxer in the ring, the guy's getting picked apart. The guy can't even, bam, bam. It looks like a sparring session. It looks like an old Rocky movie. Boom, boom. He's fumbling. He's not looking good. He doesn't have any kind of real balance when it comes to boxing. But what if this is all just part of the leak, part of the media, part of the, hey, let's do the whole facade? And what if he's there drilling every day, doing what I'm suggesting he may do, or at the crack of the bell, run, rush, use those gloves, wrestle, grab his arm, spin him, do whatever he can do, and pounding him. You don't know. We don't know. But it's a theory that maybe, like I said, he's got a chance, a once-in-a-lifetime chance. He's getting the biggest purse he'll ever get in his life right now. And for all intents and purposes, for for all intents and purposes, he probably will never.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah, right. Forget about it. I had to think of that. But the truth of the matter is, we just know what the media is releasing, what they want to do. So it could be all choreographed. It could be all orchestrated. He's a fumbling guy in a ring boxing, and maybe that's the case. But that's what he wants us to think. Maybe he wants us to see these videos of him getting picked apart. And he's going to do the element of surprise. When that bell rings, and I'm still standing, I'm going to know for the first time in my life, you see? Okay, that's another movie. That he's actually going to just rush across that ring. And like I said, this guy's a grappler. This guy's a complete overall fighter. Why, with his gloves, he's going to control, manipulate, rush, throw. He can do those things, and the worst that'll happen is he gets a point taken away from him if he goes overboard. But the bottom line is, if he's throwing, manipulating, controlling Floyd, touches Floyd, then he can swing away and get the punches from his wild angles, and maybe he'll hit and he'll hurt Floyd. That's his only chance of winning. So, like I said, maybe what we're seeing and the updates is just really all part of the facade. He's really drilling a whole other plan behind closed doors. I don't know.
Well,
but that's what I would do.
You know, the funny thing is that if he, you say a worst case scenario, he gets deducted a point. You see, that's where I'm a little nervous, because I think that the Floyd camp is going to be so adamant about making sure that he doesn't break the rules that Floyd has put in place in addition to the normal boxing rules, that he could be DQ'd. So I think that that's a whole nother asset or aspect, I should say, of this fight that we have to take into consideration. Is the referee going to be quick at issuing a DQ? I mean, that's something I hope doesn't happen. But Jeremy had told me that he felt that Conor McGregor, because he could take such a punch, is going to take some punches to get in there and
he's definitely
land
going
his
to take
punches,
some punches.
right?
And I think that he's got that type of head that can just take a beating. I think he's been hit harder, and I don't know. I think it's gonna. I honestly can't wait to see this.
Well,
for the record, this is going to be the first pay-per-view I purchased.
Jeremy, when you opened up the show with your introduction, you just said why it's going to be a big seller.
Yeah, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Right.
He opened up his show with his introduction. What's happening here?
Yeah, this is the Jeremy C. show. What's up?
Wait a second.
Just along for the ride. Sal, real quick. It's like I always say. This Billy C. He doesn't know the difference between a fish hook and a left hook. You know what I'm saying over here?
Come on. Wait a minute. That's right. He does always say that. Oh, wait a minute. I always say that. Oh, who says it?
No, that was me. I said that.
Who's saying it?
Who's up first? Hey, let me listen. Both you guys like Iron Mike Tyson, and I got some quotes from him. Iron Mike says, and you're not going to be happy about this, Jeremy. He says McGregor's going to get killed boxing. Boxing, he says, I get mad because I thought they were going to go and use MMA rules against boxing, because that's what it's all about. Can the best boxer...
Yeah, Floyd's vagina wouldn't let that happen.
No, he goes, can the boxer beat the MMA guy? He says McGregor put his dumb ass in a position where he's going to get knocked out because this guy's been doing this all his life since he was a baby, referring to Floyd. McGregor can't kick and grab and stuff. He's not going to stand much of a chance. He did say that any advantage McGregor could have had was undone by the rules that Mayweather put in place. He says McGregor took the biggest sucker rules in the history of boxing. Conor's a character. Floyd has never met a character like this. When McGregor called Floyd Mayweather a boy, I wanted to say, hey, that's disrespectful, but it was so funny, I can't. What's your thoughts on Mike Tyson's thought of this fight?
Wow. Mike, I've got to appreciate his comments and his thoughts, and I think from the ground up, he articulated exactly what I could sense and feel. Now, how could Mayweather put in additional rules other than what's there for mandated by the official rules of boxing? I mean, are you suggesting that he went above and beyond the official rules of boxing?
I think he just meant by making it all boxing rules, not.
And that's fine. He also do that, but I mean, I don't think he would be allowed to implement any new additional.
What I meant,
curve
what he's done is he's picked the gloves, he's picked the ring size, all within the
what he
rules.
always does.
Hey,
wait, you know what? Take back what I said. Did he pick the thumbless gloves? That's another thing that happened when I went to sleep for 20 years in boxing.
What did you think, Jeremy, about Tyson's comments?
Hey, look, you know what? I have nothing but respect for Mike Tyson. I have nothing bad to say about him. I agree 100% with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I don't want him to eat my children.
I don't want him to eat my children.
I love my kids. I don't want my kids eating.
Hey, listen. That's the old Mike Tyson. It's a much more refined and improved, nicer.
No. That's how he traps you in. He just sucks you all in with his kindness, and then he eats your children.
Well, a guy's got to eat. I mean, a guy's got to eat. Just ask Amanda. But check this out. How about the odds in Vegas? There's some big bucks that are being dumped on Conor McGregor, and as a result, there's a lot of money coming back on Floyd now because people are seeing the odds dropping, and you can't blame them. You know, if you're getting low odds, even if you're laying $500 for 100, which they were suggesting it was as low now for Mayweather, I mean, that's a good bet. I mean, for me, I don't think that I know Jeremy thinks Conor McGregor has a chance, but
I'm putting my whole life savings on it.
All 50 cents? You're crazy. You're crazy. The stock market's going to crash if you put that. Hey, listen, keep the 50 cents where it is, will you? Come on, man. Come on. But what's your thoughts on the odds, man?
I think they're still going to change. They got a month away, and you don't know what the last-minute odds are going to be. I think, here's the other thing, too, Billy. We've been saying this. The odds makers are listening to the press, and they're going up and down like the stock market is, predicated on what they see and what they hear. They really have not dissected this to 100 degree, because if they did, the odds would be set, signed, sealed, and delivered. They keep changing. There's too many variables. So they're listening to the rhetoric, to the bull. And but you know what? Hey, the smart money would probably be putting some bucks on Conor McGregor, because whether it's 8-1, 5-1, whatever the one, I'm not going to lay the money out on Floyd Mayweather just to win a little bit of money. I'd rather go gamble in a casino.
So tickets. The first batch of codes were released yesterday, and as you guys had heard, you have to obtain a code in order to buy a ticket. And even if you get a code, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be able to buy a ticket. And each code is only good for 2 tickets only. They're trying to, eliminate any scalpers or third-party tickets services to make any money on this. They're trying to hoard all the money.
I'm sure they're just doing that for the good of the fans.
Oh,
right?
yeah. But that's all that Floyd ever does. But check this out. The ticket prices, like they were already released, the prices. This is for live, not the closed circuit, which is also available at several casinos we talked about yesterday around the Strip. $500 is the cheapest seat, and then the most expensive is $10,000. Now the codes, which were picked up, the first batch yesterday from their fan verified program from Ticketmaster, were immediately being sold. The codes, which guarantee nothing,
the codes are being sold
on eBay for $200 a pop.
You can't beat the scalper.
I know you can't. You're not going to beat the scalper. They're already selling something that's not even a ticket. This is actually a dream for a scalper, because they're selling something that's not even a ticket. Scalpers. They don't have to do nothing. They have to do nothing. They were lucky to get the code. And by the way, how do you know it's even a legit code?
I was going to say, Bob Smoka called me the other day with a code. He asked me. He said, $50, you'll sell codes.
There you go. See? And even Bob the Smoker, you know how he makes his living, ripping off old ladies, right?
That's right.
So, but, so, I mean, listen, it's growing and growing. I just, I'm just curious to know how big it will be in terms of pay-per-view sales, but anyway,
biggest pay-per-view of all times.
Yeah, well,
it's gonna be. It's
assuming that all the MMA fans get it, they haven't reached the numbers that Floyd and Manny did, or Floyd and Oscar did.
It's bigger than that, even, Bill, because I don't watch MMA. I've never bought a MMA pay-per-view fight.
Whoa, wait a minute.
This would be like if Trump were in the ring. Like, people just want to see this,
We don't. You haven't even watched an MMA fight. Why the hell are we getting thoughts on this fight?
I said I haven't bought a MMA pay-per-view.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what's your official prediction before we let you go, Jeremy? Before we kick you to the curb, Jeremy, because
me and Sal, we're letting you go. What are you talking about? We're taking over. My prediction. Okay, well, first of all, before I get to my prediction, I just wanted to say hello to all my fans in the chat room. I love you all. You're great. I see people saying I look 25. That's great. I look like a movie star. That's right. I look great. Yeah. My official prediction is Sal runs into the ring and knocks both these guys out.
That's why we're keeping Sal way far away from Vegas on this one.
My official prediction is exactly what Connor said. Knockout in 4. Boom!
That Floyd's going to knock out Connor in 4?
No! Absolutely not.
You think that Conor McGregor is going to actually knock out Floyd Mayweather in 4 rounds?
4 rounds or sooner. He's going to bounce his head right off the canvas, like he said.
Yeah, we can't do that. But, hey, listen, you guys heard it here first. Jeremy C., or that could be Billy C. I don't know, but the guy that's on right now, who's very modest, the modest guy. You guys are looking at 2 modest guys right now. Not.
I'm just waving to my fans in the chat.
Maybe they're the same guy. I don't know. But Jeremy C. has officially picked Conor McGregor by knockout within 4 rounds over Floyd Mayweather. And Jeremy, we'll get you back on in case you change your mind.
To gloat?
Well, no, definitely after the fight. But I mean, maybe another time before the fight. Before we hang up on you, Jeremy, any final words you would like to say?
I love you guys. You're putting on a great show every day for the people. That's what you do. It's your job, and you do it well.
I just want to say that, we're really going to miss you at St. Simon's, Jeremy. Yeah. You knew that was coming. Sal was really bummed out. He was, he's kind of happy he doesn't have to feed another person, but really, deep down, he kind of wanted to meet you, man.
I love to meet you.
You know what? Maybe next time. I have somebody I'd like to bring into the ring for screwing me over for that weekend. Bill knows.
Hey, you and Floyd, you share the same interest in smacking those people around, huh?
Billy, I think next year, we should make it a date to all meet up at the Canastota at the Boxing Hall of Fame. We should all make it a date. That's no ifs, ands, and buts. We
like a hold hands kind of date?
Yeah, I'm not that kind of a guy, Sal. I mean,
we do a studio thing. We do a program. We do a show from the Canastota location. And
But where can we find a producer? Do we know where there's a producer around?
Hey. I just wanted to say how great the show sounds. The audio. Like every time I hear the intro, I'm like, man, who's this guy? This voice. It sounds amazing.
Every time you bring up the website, every time you go to the podcast. Incidentally, you change that around. You're just keeping me on my toes, huh?
That's right. KHZ.
Yeah,
I was like,
I was like, whoa.
We got some plans.
I'm like, whoa, what's this rocking the boat? What's
We're going to be launching the Sal podcast pretty soon.
Hey, one click away.
The Salcast.
Yeah. No. Well, anyway, Jeremy, I appreciate you giving us some time. I know you're a busy guy.
Guys, thanks a lot.
I know you're a busy guy, but
I'm busy responding to all my fans in the chat room.
Yeah, well,
Billy, Jeremy, on Billy's website. Is there any way, once you click the box the one time, that it can open up the TV and do the whole thing? Because usually you hit that.
Oh, yeah.
People
I'll work on it.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hey, Jeremy, is there any way that you can fix...
Sal, you know how much Bill loves when we talk,
Hey, Jeremy, is there any way you can fix Sal's computer problems at home? Because sometimes it really's not working right for him, Jeremy. So is there any way that you can fix his computer at home? Is there any magical way that you could turn on and off his computer?
Say, hey, Bill, hey, Jeremy, look, do this.
I'm going to start a new character called Charlie Chat Room. All I do is, my fucking skipped a little bit. There was a beeping noise.
Yeah. That's right. Hey, Jeremy, thanks.
Charlie Chat Room.
Hey, Jeremy, thanks. We'll have you back on soon, my man.
Take it easy, guys. I love you.
All right, that's Jeremy C., the infamous Jeremy C., joining us with the chat room today, Sal, and Jeremy's pretty funny.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah. Anyway, back to boxing talk and the Adrien Broner, the fact that he's talking a lot of smack. And before we went to break and then kind of veered off a little bit and talked about McGregor Mayweather with Jeremy C., we didn't give Mikey Garcia's comments. They were doing a press conference call yesterday. And Mikey Garcia says, and I quote, "I still have my plans on coming back down to 135 to unify all the titles or have a big title defense in the lightweight division. But, after being in boxing so long and learning the policies on the business about it, you got to be flexible. You got to be able to adjust and make those adjustments and continue with your career. I'm not going to sit around and wait for a fight and chase anybody. I'm here to take on the biggest fights available, the biggest challenges available, whether that means at 135 or 140 or even at 147. And there's been rumors about Mikey Garcia possibly fighting Terrence Crawford should Terrence Crawford get by his unification fight against Julius Ndongo coming up. And Sal, it's a tale of two comments. Here you have Mikey Garcia doing what Mikey Garcia does. The blue collar, bring your lunch pail, business is business. It's all about boxing guy. And Adrien Broner talking smack. I'm going to F you up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And Mikey Garcia just, taking it as another day at training and another day, another walk in the park. What's your thoughts on both of these guys, where their heads at? And again, tying into what we were saying yesterday, Broner needs this fight to keep him going, at least on the path he believes he's on. I see weight issues. I see him not being able to back it up. What's your thoughts on all of this?
I see, just what you're saying. I see a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, a lot of misdirection and stumbling in the corner of Broner. There's not that fluid continuity, that pathway, the natural flow of a fighter in a camp, doing things that he's supposed to do. And so like I said, what we're hearing and what I'm hearing are what the press is releasing. And if this is to be true, then I think Adrien Broner has got to do something to change his lifestyle, to get himself centered, and to put the blinders on and do what he's got to do, to train, to fight, to win a fight. Now, what I love about Mikey Garcia is just what you read. The guy is all business. The guy knows what his profession is. He's adhering to what he needs to do to win. And he's in a camp. He's focused. He's not talking smack in a sense, where he's just going to do what he's got to do. He's going to get in that ring. He's going to have the blinders on. He's going to be methodical in his style, and he's going to try to break down and break through the offense and beat Adrien Broner. And that's why I picked Mikey Garcia for a multitude of reasons. But a lot of it has to do with what you hear on both sides of these guys' lifestyles and what's going on. One guy's a serious to no business kind of guy that knows what he's got to do, knows everything on the line. The other guy, I think, takes it for granted because he feels he's got that superior talent. He feels he's an elitist that can take things half-ass if he can, excuse my French. But the truth of the matter is, this is a serious business, and you've got to be 100% focused with the blinders and do what you got to do. You got to make a plan, work a plan, and fight a plan. That's it.
Well,
and he's not doing that.
No,
for what I see.
Like I said in the beginning of the show, and people misunderstand me when I'm constantly, it appears that I'm constantly being critical of smack talkers because, I like the smack talk. I really do. But I like a guy that's going to back it up. And Adrien Broner is putting himself in a position where, and I said this on yesterday's show, I really feel that he is in a must-win situation, or at the very least, Sal, he must look good even if he loses. If Mikey Garcia knocks him out, now Broner's got a solid chin. I mean, he's been down before, but he does have a solid chin, and he does have some pop. Mikey Garcia, sometimes in the past he's started off a little slow, feels out his opponent, then comes on very strong and seems to get stronger and stronger as the fight goes on. If what I see in Adrien Broner, his physical appearance looks like he's a little overweight, to say, and that's being kind. So if he's focusing on weight loss, which is worth $500,000 to him, he may come into this fight drained. Listen, the bottom line is Adrien Broner has to perform very well. He's got to either win or look really good in a close decision loss. If he gets knocked out, for all intent purposes, his career as a superstar is over. But as a smack talker, if he doesn't even try to back this up, if he comes out and he's fighting 100% conservative, how can you respect the guy? If you're going to talk smack, Sal, back it up. At least try, is my point.
Hey, and we just don't know. Like I said, Bill, any fighter could be beaten on any given night. And one thing is for sure. We, as much as we like to listen to what's going on in the fighter's corner or camp, with the rhetoric, with what they want us to know, and what they don't want us to know, we don't know. We don't know what's in his heart. We don't know what's in his mind. Maybe he's going to come out there. Maybe he's going to just explode on the scene, and he's going to be hot to trot. He's going to warm up in that ring, and he's going to come out ready to box and destroy. And maybe he will. We don't know that. And if that is the case, then he's on the right path of where he's going to put his money where his mouth is. And so that's just it. But like I said, I like to look at issues black and white and the facts that surround them. But there are so many variables and intangibles that we don't know what's in a fighter's heart and mind and what they're going to do. That's the unpredictability, and that's the one variable that is the beauty of boxing. Let's see what comes into the ring that night. And if it's something stellar, something that's phenomenal, something that we haven't seen before from either fighter or that we can depend on seeing, that's the variable that we cannot define before it actually happens. So maybe Adrien Broner is all business. Maybe he's going to come in there. He's going to be at his best, and he's going to knock out Mikey Garcia. That's what he has in mind. Maybe that's what he's been training for all this time. Maybe all the rhetoric and the bull is just a part of the noise he wants to make. But we're going to see. He's going to have an opportunity to do one or two things, win or lose, or maybe draw. But it should be a good fight. And let's see. I hope he brings his A game. I hope he is focused. I hope he does a great job, and may the best man win. Because I do respect his skills at the core level. Let's see how he uses them or abuses them. And I do like Mikey Garcia for who he is. He stands for a really solid, good all-around boxer who takes his career serious.
Yeah, and if you don't like Mikey Garcia, you're not a boxing fan, really. But Sal, we're going to take a short break. We will be back in 2. I got some emails to read, some other news. We'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back. Part of the Billy C Boxing Network.
Currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to graze.com for your first box free.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us. And speaking of being with us, don't forget to join Sal and myself August 25th and 26th down on beautiful St. Simon's Island in the state of Georgia. The Golden Isles, if you will, at the beautiful Sea Palms Resort. We are going to be doing a 2.5-day event down there surrounding the McGregor-Mayweather fight. So come on down. We're going to have former world champions Marlon Starling and Bobby Ches and Mike Weaver joining us. Also, a renowned trainer out of Tampa, Florida, Sherman Henson, will actually be working out Sal on Friday night at our meet and greet. So you could check that out. We're also going to show you we're going to give you a look at one of our new shows that we're doing that's going to be on TV pretty soon. We'll keep you posted on that on the Billy C. Boxing's Revisited. So we'll air one of those for you. We're going to have a golf tournament on Saturday for fun. And then on Saturday night, we will show the fight, and we'll all hang out. And by the way, we will be swinging over to Sal's Pizzeria and Restaurant so you guys can taste what I'm always bragging about. So come on and join us. Visit BillyCBoxing.com. Click on the Sea Palms. Give them a call and tell them you want info on the Billy C. Boxing event. And then we'll see you there. I'm here with Sal Rocky Senecola right now. And Sal, I got some emails to read. You ready?
Oh, yes, sir. Let's do it.
First and foremost, this one's from Jesse. And my man Johnston, by the way. Now, he's from the other side of the pond. And you know what? I'm trying to convince him to fly over and see you. They want to try your pizza. I mean, come on. We got if he takes him, his wife, and his beautiful new baby and comes all the way to Sal's, you're going to throw him a pizza, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, Johnson, I want to thank him, too. He actually emailed me on my birthday, wished me a happy birthday, and I was so, pleasantly surprised. It was great to see.
Hey, you know, I heard about the big birthday cake that they had for you at the restaurant with all those candles. I didn't realize that it was going to call for all 9 of those fire departments to come out and put them candles out. There's a lot of candles on that cake, brother.
Easy. We had a fight. Stickers are handy for that.
I know. Too bad it didn't cut it. That's why they had to get 9 fire departments in there. But
Heather actually orchestrated a beautiful thing, and my staff and everybody else, they really went all out. They decorated the place. We had streamers, we had balloons, we had a cake, we had I think she announced it was my birthday, Heather, every hour on the hour, and it's her birthday coming up August 1st, so we're going to do something special for her, too.
Good deal. Yeah, tell me she grabbed the mic and was ringing the bell like you always.
She did. Well, actually, I think she did. And we also have Mary Kate, who was also great with that microphone and making announcements. She's really a great little young lady. She's really good gal.
First emails from my man Jesse. Says, "Hey Billy C and Sal, I do believe this will be Broner's last chance to make a big name for himself and keep it. He must be consistent and keep focused and serious about the sport and he's obviously referring to boxing, if he wants to make the big fights. For Broner, it will be difficult to be motivated and focus on the sport. If he loses to Mikey, he will just become a gatekeeper for up-and-comers like Jose Ramirez, Regis Prograis, Lipinets, etc. But if he wins at least one more big money fight, depending upon how serious he takes it, will come his way. The gatekeeper... A gatekeeper, I mean, even if he loses, they'll because he's young enough, I think that he gets another chance or two, Sal. I mean, do you think if he loses by knockout, which is the worst way he could lose, does that, drop him down to gatekeeper status?
I think the email was very well phrased and put, and I think it hinted along the lines of what can happen with a win versus a loss. And I think Adrien Broner is at the point of his career where a big win here will propel him into that atmosphere of where he thinks he is, a superstar. And as long as he can parlay that with a couple of other big wins and things, maybe he'll reclaim that whole image. But the bottom line is, if he does get beat or if he does get knocked out, it's like I said, if a fighter loses, you're only as good as your last fight. So what's going to happen is he's going to have everybody coming out of the woodwork, challenging him, putting him down, doing things. I could beat him. And he's going to be looked at, even though he's young enough, and he surely will get another title fight here and there. But he's going to look at some of the young up-and-comers to take on and challenge him, and it's up to him. The guy's talented. If he puts his head on and focuses and gets rid of some of the rhetoric in his life, then he could be a champion. He could be an all-star. He could be a superstar. But that's the quieting of the noise that keeps you off track and off focus. So if he can do that, that's great. If he loses this fight, he probably will not ever reclaim superstardom, but he will be able to hold his own. I think he'll be looked at as the fighter to beat, but we'll see. I don't think he's just an opponent or a journeyman yet, no.
Well, if you take a duck and you dress him up in a rabbit
as
suit,
a duck, as a rabbit,
if you dressed him up as a wascally wabbit, he's still a duck dressed as a wascally wabbit. You get my point.
Absolutely.
But anyway, his next point is, Billy, do you see Johnny Gonzalez having one more big fight, but he'll eventually lose that fight? He can beat top 15, 20 guys, but he seems to struggle against the top 5 guys. Who would you match him up against? Maybe Sosha, Murara, Uchimea, Pedraza, Ito. And if he beats at least one, is he deserving to face a guy like Davis, Walters, Burchett, Corrales? I've always loved Johnny Gonzalez. This is a fighter that he does. There are two tales of Johnny Gonzalez: fights that he gets up for and fights that he doesn't. That he can't. He's got a lot of miles on him. I hope he does make it to the top and become a world champion one more time. As far as only being able to beat top 15 or 20 fighters, I think he's definitely a legit top 10. And when you're looking at top 10 fighters or even top 5 fighters, depending upon the sanctioning body, you could be conceivably fighting a guy that may have a number 5 ranking in one sanctioning body and not ranked in another. So how good is he? So the ranking system today is very hard to legitimize. That's why I like the computerized rankings. BoxRecs are pretty decent, but IBO, the IBO has a computerized ranking system that I think is really the best of all. And, anytime you have a sanctioning body who actually has the balls to rank a fighter that's not their champion above their own champion, because that's the way the computer spits it out, you got to give credit to, and that's exactly what the IBO does. As far as fighting Davis or Burchelt or Corrales, I'd like to see him in there with Corrales. Corrales hasn't really solidified or cemented his spot. And as far as Walters, Are you talking about Nicholas Walters? I haven't heard anything about him since he quit. It would be interesting to see him back in the ring again. Yeah, he says, what's your thoughts on Carlos Adames? Adames is a real fighter, 11-0, 10 knockouts, 23-year-old welterweight on the rise. He's fighting a huge fight this weekend, or actually tomorrow, against Carlos Molina, who's a real opponent, 28-6 with a couple of draws. His last 3 fights, all against good opposition. Patrick Lopez, Ivan Alvarez, and his last fight, Jean Carlos Prada. He's a real deal. You know, he's got 11 fights under his belt. At least 8 of them are against better than good opposition. So, yeah, I think he's the real deal. Thanks for the email, Jesse. Next one is from your man, Raheem. It's from your man, Raheem, Sal.
All right, Raheem.
He says, hey, Billy, Raheem here. Do you and Sal think that Mayweather-McGregor will surpass the pay-per-view numbers that Mayweather and Pacquiao did? He says, I think that it will do better and break all the records. If it does, I think that credit has to be given to Dana White and the UFC. I think that Mayweather and Dana White will work together to combine the best fighters of the UFC to fight the best fighters in boxing. This will be great for boxing and the future to bring in more fans. And this way the fighters can make more money. And can you do a blast from the past on Winky Wright? He was a great boxer and nobody ever mentions him. I like his style and he fought great boxers but lost fights because of bad judging. First and foremost, yeah, we'll do. I put Winky Wright on the list for you. You can't always blame the judges. Winky Wright's style was safety first, was a great defensive fighter. Sometimes just didn't let his hands go. More commonly, the latter part of his career. But definitely, Winky Wright deserves a blast. So we will do that. As far as my thoughts on the rest of the email, my question, my answer to the surpassing the records, it's hard to say. Jeremy thinks so, and a lot of people think so. If you take all the MMA fans and they buy it, the question, and you assume that the casual fan, that sports guy who just buys the big events so he could talk about it or she could talk about it at the water cooler on Monday at the office, they're going to buy it, but they buy the big events anyway. I think the difference maker here are the true boxing fans. Are the true boxing fans going to shell out the money for this farce? And based on what I hear now, and we all know that this could change, the answer is no. So I have a feeling that this fight will not break the Mayweather-Pacquiao numbers of 4.4 million. I just don't think it will. But, I could be totally off. This could end up having 10 million, So I say no. And the one last comment before I turn it over to Sal is, Raheem, you're always mentioning like Floyd is the savior for boxing and that Floyd does everything for the good of boxing. I just don't understand how much of the Mayweather Kool-Aid you drank. And, I just think that you need to listen to your pops more because I think your father has a lot more stability when he's making his comments on Mayweather and, the whole picture. Mayweather, forget him boxing and everything else. Mayweather's main goal is for Mayweather. It's not, he doesn't care about you as his diehard fan as much as you love him. He doesn't care about his fans. He doesn't even care about the sport of boxing. If he did, he would have given something back. And what I mean by that isn't monetary. What I mean by that is he would have challenged himself and went after those fights that we want to see. Him against Triple G or him, against a guy that you would not think he could beat at all. That's what great fighters do. So I have a problem with you constantly putting Mayweather on a pedestal like he's great for the sport. He's not. He's great for himself, and he deserves the credit for that. But he's not helping the sport. He's not helping anybody out except himself. Sal, what's your thoughts on the Mayweather-McGregor and the numbers it'll do? And Do you think that Mayweather will continue a relationship with Dana White, like Raheem suggests, and bring more fighters to fight MMA guys?
I think it's a good email from Raheem, and I will tell you this. I think that this will generate record numbers as far as pay-per-view purchases. I'll tell you why. You do have the boxing purists that some may not want to watch this fiasco or these two worlds collide. But then to make up for that, you got the generic water cooler kind of fan that is going to spring for this all of a sudden and have a night of a party at their house or have friends over and things like this, and it's going to be an event, so they're going to want to see it. But you do have a large contingency of MMA fans that are going to buy this. And you have, I think, other venues. Look, we're doing a venue, we're buying it. Other places are going to buy it because it's a big event. So I do think when all is said and done, this may be the largest pay-per-view purchase across the board. And let's see, they've got all the stars aligned for that. So I have to agree that this might be the very large, the largest. Let me get that straight. It's going to be the largest purchase of pay-per-view ever.
Yeah. So you agree with Raheem?
I agree with Raheem, and believe me, I don't necessarily want to. But I do agree with him. I agree that, like I said, the stars are aligning here. You have MMA fans, you have boxing fans, you have venues that want to showcase this fight. You have water cooler talkers, Monday morning quarterbacks, they're boxers. You have a lot of people that are going to be interested in this whole event because it's not just a boxing match, it's not just an MMA match, it's an event. It's a once in a lifetime, a precedent that they're going to show and they're going to want to see. And because the shock appeal as well, we don't know what's going to happen. So they want to see it for that effect. So I think it's going to be the largest pay-per-view purchase ever.
So does Jeremy. He thinks it's going to be one of the largest. And I think you hit it on the head. It is an event. There's no question. It's an event.
It's not a fight. It's not this. It's an event.
Right. And maybe that's most of my problem, to be honest with you, Sal. Maybe, an event is event, but it's being marketed as a boxing event. And, it's...
I'm telling you, whether you like him or not, Floyd Mayweather, you could say, is a marketing genius in this sense. This is going to be the largest payday for fighters. There's going to be hey, he wants to be a record breaker. He wants to be known for something. He wants to be the best of everything. And guess what? He's got this playbook. This is what he's doing. This is what he's creating. And he's going to be known for a multitude of reasons. And if he can get to 50-0 and then go, then that's going to be another reason. But the bottom line is, I do give him credit where credit is due. And the guy's a marketing genius for his own life, his own career. Not what I agree upon, not the handbook I want to see other fighters necessarily go by and build their career by, but it is something that works for Mayweather, and that's all that is important to Mayweather. Whatever works for him the best is going to make and provide him with the best. That's it. End of story.
Yeah, speaking of Mayweather, it was released the other day that he is putting one of his most treasured and expensive cars on the auction block, I think today, either today or tomorrow, to help satisfy some of his IRS debt. I guess he doesn't have the money he says he does. He has.
Do we know what model car it is?
I forget. No. It's a rare. I think it's a British made card, Ego something. It's Lego My Ego something. I don't know. Lego building. Somebody made it out of Lego building block. I don't know. But it's like the car is worth I think $1.5 million or something like that. I mean, I know it's he drives
really. I thought it was something really special.
Yeah, he
back in the '90s there was an EF4, a Ferrari that was $1 million. It had the glass back and you could see the whole engine. It was beautiful.
Well, he just uses this car to go grab milk at the convenience store. That's what he uses. But he's going to be putting that one up. And the funny thing is I totally get it. When you have the gazillions of dollars that he has, and not just him, anybody. You want to take that money and invest it in stuff, and he certainly has some smart investments, at least I would assume. And it's not so easy to sell a piece of property or something like that to raise the money. But for a guy that brags that he has made $700 million so far inside the prize ring, you would think that he could have a few million laying around in cash that he could pay the taxes in which he owes. And for the money that he's going to be making for the McGregor fight, I would hope that somebody around him tells him, hey, listen, pay your tax bill now. They're trying to tell him, and they're advising him that he ends up costing him less money by not paying it. In other words, they wait for it to go into collections and then cut a deal. The IRS, they do that with people they feel can't pay their tax obligation. But with the way Mayweather brags and throws money around and everybody knows what he makes, I would think that they wouldn't be inclined to work with a client like that and, bring the hammer down on him more. Not for any other reason other than he's trying to beat the system. I mean, he makes X amount of money. He owes X amount of percentage of tax on that money. End of story. Pay it, get it over with. Otherwise, he's going to have these guys on his back his whole life, Sal. I mean, to me, whoever's advising him to let these tax bills go into collections so he can make a deal and pay less, that's stupid because, now you get flagged. And I'm not an IRS expert, but I did have trouble with them in the past, and I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. And, the truth of the matter is once you're flagged, they're after you. They're like a pit bull. And Floyd doesn't need that, especially if he truly goes into retirement or he truly just focuses on his promotional. And I mean this sincerely, even though I'm not a big fan. Floyd should just, put all his ducks in a row. And, if anybody's going to be strung along for money, it shouldn't be the IRS.
No, definitely not the IRS. And I'll tell you what, if he's made over $700 million in the ring, then you know what, the IRS has probably gotten close or should be getting close to $350 million. The bottom line is, it is what it is. Some things you can never get away from or avoid, and if he has the means and the money, he's going to have to be paying it, whether he auctions cars, houses, or whatever he's going to be doing. I think this fight is going to be solving a lot of those IRS issues with the person that's involved here. But then again, I'm not an accountant, so I can't say for sure. But definitely, he should get off the radar. He should do this, and whether he can parlay this. Like I said, Bill, I'm still hopeful. I'm still hoping when he gets past McGregor, that he's going to be sitting ringside for the Canelo Alvarez Triple G fight, and I'm hoping he gets right up in that ring before the fight and announces, "I want the winner," and that'll be stellar. Then you know what?
You have as much of a chance of that happening as Jeremy actually showing up at your restaurant on August 25th. So,
I can make that happen.
Of course, Coach is helping me out here like he always does. And by the way, help Coach out. Visit his website, strictlybusinessboxing.com. Coing-Geg. It's a Coings-Geg Trivetta. That's the car that Floyd is auctioning off to help bide some time with the government. But anyway, one more email. This one's from our buddy Joel, my man Joel, who's in the chat room right now. Joel says, I was on YouTube yesterday, and I saw some clips of USA Tuesday night fights. The series ended in 1998, several years before I became a boxing fan. This is so funny. Think of this, Sal. Several years before he became a boxing fan, and he puts in parentheses 2006. I look at 2006. Wasn't that yesterday? Isn't that? Aren't we in 2006? I still think we're in the 80s, for God's sakes. 98 seems fresh in my mind, but. Anyway, just goes to show you how young Joel is, and we love Joel. But he says, but I was curious, did you and Sal watch it? What kind of talent was displayed each week? Prospects, champions. I'm curious if you could tell me a little bit more about it. He says, and secondly, is there a weekly boxing series that you really miss, that you wish would come back? I would love to see ESPN Friday Night Fights return. What, they stopped that one? Oh, yeah, they did last year. They did. He says all the best. First and foremost, the series I would really like to come back, Joel, is Tuesday Night Fights. It was great on USA Network. Listen, what it was everything that boxing needed to help educate the fan and create a fan that would follow fighters. What they did was they would generally showcase a fighter on the way up, and you got to see these guys. You got to know them. And then as they progress with their careers, you would already have seen them. So they would go from USA's Tuesday Night Fights and then maybe fight on ESPN or as on an undercard of a bigger fight, and you would have already heard of them. You wouldn't have all of a sudden see a guy that's got some belt and that you never heard of him. All of a sudden he's the opening act of a pay-per-view, and you never heard the guy. That's why USA Tuesday Night Fights was so valuable to boxing and its fans, because it showcased these guys. They weren't the top dogs, but they were very good fighters on the way up, and you got to see them multiple times. Plus, the announcing with Al Bernstein was great. These were knowledgeable guys. These were boxing guys doing boxing, and they were showcasing young fighters. The worst thing that happened to this sport, Joel, was when we lost USA's Tuesday Night Fights. I would love to have a series like that come back. Now, the PBC does have their toe-to-toe Tuesdays. It's not every Tuesday like Tuesday Night Fights was, but it's close. And as far as ESPN's Friday Night Fights, they got rid of that when the PBC tried to take that over and obviously couldn't fulfill it. But thank God that the end result is that ESPN, I guess, is in a financial position to buy some of the bigger fights. So I missed that one, Sal. What was your thoughts on Tuesday Night Fights, and what's your favorite weekly fight show broadcast of live fights do you miss?
Well, I think ESPN even had the Thursday Night Fights, which I think Thursday or Friday Night Fights back in the 80s, which I was a part of. I mean, some of my early fights were announced by Al Bernstein, Roger Twibel, and Sal Marciano. And, it was great. It was a great trilogy there of great announcers. And I liked that series. I think it was on Thursday nights. And then ESPN used to do a tournament, an ESPN tournament. That's where you would showcase. I saw, who did I see? Maybe I even saw Freddie Roach out of Boston when he was fighting there in Massachusetts. I think he was part of that back then as a fighter. Sean O'Grady, I think he won that thing or something. He was a young fighter that we were talking about the other day off air, you and I. So ESPN was a great platform for a lot of young talent that was coming up. What you just said was significant, Bill. ESPN used to give an up-close and personal kind of a thing, almost like Wide World of Sports or CBS Sports World used to do in the 70s and 80s when they would showcase fighters on the afternoon television, Saturday afternoon. But ESPN was a great venue, and they used to have those weekly matches, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and it was great because that's where you would see young talent developing right before your eyes. You get to know them, and you get to follow them. And when they would get springboarded into stardom, they were right there for you to know and follow. They created a young boxing fan.
I know I'm over my time here, but I just want to say this: boxing, believe it or not, boxing on television in the past was way more popular than it is now, despite having only a handful of television channels at the time. It was so popular in the 50s and early 60s that they used to have a TV guide specifically for boxing that would tell you all the fights and what channels that they came on. They had the Gillette Boxing Series and a bunch of others that would showcase these fights. And it was really up until the fight with Benny Kid Paret and what's his name, Emil Griffith, where basically we watched Benny Kid Paret get beaten to death on television, where a lot of networks started taking a back step away from boxing on TV. Now, we did a fight on our new series, Sal, that and we talk about it, and we're probably going to be showing this particular episode at our event on August 25th. But the fight that actually, in our opinion, that might have laid the groundwork for Benny Kid Paret's demise was indeed not the Emil Griffith fight. It was the fight that he had before that, against Gene Fulmer. And not only that, but the rules were so different back then that they didn't suspend either of the fighters. And when we show you this fight, you can see why Sal and I thought that both fighters should have been suspended, regardless of the outcome. But hold that thought. I am going to take a short little break. And when we come back, we'll finish this topic. And I got a couple others to talk about. So don't go nowhere.
Billy C will be right back. Part of the Billy C Boxing Network.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you!
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching the Billy C Show. Glad you could be with us. And before we went to break, we were basically talking about an email from my man Joel, and he was asking us about Tuesday night fights from USA Network. And Sal, really, in the 50s and 60s, there were more fights on every day of the week, actually. I believe except for Mondays. I think Mondays was the only day. Mondays and Sundays and Mondays, they did not have live boxing, but every other day. And considering there were only 3 channels, major, international channels, all the other TV networks were local. So if there was, let's say in New York, if you had, aside from the national networks, you might have had a station that was only able to be viewed in New York and New Jersey. And considering there were fights on every single night, except Sunday and Monday, That's a lot of fights compared to, the plethora of networks that you have today.
Absolutely. And, we often look back and we say how much more popular boxing was decades ago. And, you had the platform. You had things there that, made it just a more than just a casual sport that you would talk about around the water cooler. It was exciting. I mean, you had fighters that were household names. You had, and like I said, Bill, I've gone off on a tangent sometimes just saying, because we had more showcased domestic fighters. Today, we really do have a world venue of boxing, and we have world talent that is all over the place, all over the world. So where boxing may have dissipated in its attraction or in its presence in the United States, I think boxing took off across the globe, globally, tenfold. I mean, like I said, you had all those Soviet bloc countries or the communistic countries that kept their professional amateurs hidden. They weren't even known entities. They just would do what they had to do for what they were socialized or what they were subsidized to do, box. And now they're all out there, world champions coming on here and everything else. And so I think boxing increased on a global stage and maybe has dissipated on a United States stage. That's been my thoughts.
No, it's and before that, people used to gather around the radio. The Schmeling fights. I mean, I happen to have the original recording of the radio broadcast, thanks to my man Steve Lott, the original radio broadcast of the rematch between Joe Louis and Max Schmeling at Yankee Stadium, and how I mean, chilling to hear the broadcast. And I mean, these guys would make. It always reminds me of a story that I read once, and it was basically, not only were fights very popular on TV, but you could see, and we were talking about this the other day. There were more fights in one state, the state of New York, in 1946 than there were in all of the states combined in 2016. So I mean, it gives you an idea of how many fight cards there were during that era. And I remember this story where these two guys were at Madison Square Garden, and they were watching some fights, and they were boring as hell. So they were, sitting there watching them, and they were bored as hell, and they said, let's get out of here, and they left the arena, walked literally across the street into a bar, and they were sitting at the bar, drinking a couple of beers, and the bartender had the fight on the radio, which is also kind of different than today, because if there's a fight going on across the street, you can't see it anywhere else except if you're in the arena, right? So the bar had the fight on the radio, and these guys were listening to it while they were drinking their beer, and the announcers were making this fight and painting the picture that it was so exciting. They were like, oh man, this fight it got really good. They guzzle their beer, they run back across the street only to find the same boring fight that they left, So you also got to give credit to the announcers, Sal, because they made some of these fights, really seem like you were missing out on something if you weren't there.
Well, that's a great point, because part of that attraction, I will tell you, is the attraction, or that you can listen to the announcers who were entertaining, such as you and I being a little entertaining at times. But the bottom line is, yes, I used to love to listen to Howard Cosell, Gil Clancy, Al Bernstein. I mean, these were voices that you would identify and associate and analogize with and could identify with. So I missed that. And they were also part of the sale. They were part of the sizzle. They were part of the venue itself. These guys being the figures that they were a part of the fight game. And you could identify that. And they did do a fabulous job. Some of them still do. I mean, I love listening to Howard, Letterman, Al Bernstein. These guys are great. They're great.
Yeah, except Mauricio Ronaldo. Ronaldo is
I didn't
terrible.
mention him. You noticed that?
Oh, God. But Anyway, a couple of tidbits here real quick. Julio Cesar Chavez, he says he's going to return this year. And he was talking about it yesterday on social media, saying that he's going to wants to fight Martin Murray at 168. Martin Murray says, I'll fight him. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. Remember, Chavez Jr. claimed that he couldn't perform well. He looked awful against Canelo Alvarez, even though that fight was technically at super middleweight. But Chavez Jr. says he wants to fight at 168. How many more chances do we give this guy? I felt that his last chance already happened, and that was the Canelo fight. The reason why I love the British boxing scene is, check this out. George Groves, 26-3, will be putting his WBA world title on the line against Jamie Cox in the Battle of Britain, which is also part of the WBSS, the World Boxing Super Series. This whole thing, what I love about these fighters, not only are they willing to fight, but they fight each other. And these guys are part of this series, but they fight each other. They're not afraid. And this fight's taking place October 14th in London. So once again, we get the World Boxing Super Series, a major fight announced. And speaking of the English boxing scene, or the British boxing scene, I should say, Paul Butler just signed a promotional deal with Matchroom Boxing, and is going to take on his rival, Stuart Hall, in an eliminator for the WBA's bantamweight title. Again, what I love about the Brits is that they're not afraid to fight each other, and once again, they're doing it again. Much more so, Sal, than the fighters here in the U.S. who seem to want no part of the challenging fights, and that really bothers me overall.
Well, that's what the UK has over them right now. I mean, I love the British fighters. They're unbelievable. They're talented, and they're fearless, and they want to challenge themselves to fight the best that there is. So I give them all the accolades and all the applause right there. Great group of fighters.
No doubt. On this day,
and their fans too.
Well, the fans make it. I love those events.
Fans make it. I love those fans, and I know Johnson and several others are a big part of that. And I'll tell you, that's unbelievable.
Well, what they do really well over in England and Europe generally is it's an event. It's an event, and when you go to these big arenas, and they're big arenas where they have boxing, the fans are there, and they come out in huge numbers, and it's a diversified group of fans. How many times you watch a fight in the U.S., there's 9 people there, nobody's getting crazy. Over in Europe, different story. I love it. There's a lot of energy there. They're singing, dancing, drinking, On this day, July 25th, in boxing history, in 1995, Marcelo Dominique knocks out Akir Taffer in the 9th round to win the interim WBC World Cruiserweight title, and that took place in France. On this day in 1929, Jackie Fields wins the World Welterweight title via a second-round disqualification over Joe Dundee, and that took place in Detroit, Michigan. I hope that doesn't happen on August 26th. And on this day, July 25th, 1921, Petey Herman wins a 15-round decision over Joe Lynch to win the World Bantamweight title, and that took place in Brooklyn, New York, on this day in 1921. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to be doing our Blast from the Past, and it's going to be on Gene Fulmer, a guy that we just referred to a little while ago. You're not going to want to miss that one. Plus, Larry Hazard will be joining us. Now, this will be the last time we get to talk with Larry and do a blast for at least 1 week, because we will not be doing the live shows next week. And tomorrow is actually the last live show for this week. Now, I lied, because next week we may be doing a show, but it will be determined the day before. So keep your eyes peeled on social media. We'll let you know. We'll try to let you know. Or the best thing to do is subscribe to our YouTube version of the show, and it'll flag you when our next live event is happening. So go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/talkin, TALKIN, boxing, BOXING, one word. But either way, don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, ciao, baby.